And a fair good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to Your Speaking Matters, hosted by Rick and Carol Durling. In each episode of this podcast, we unravel the secrets of effective communication through engaging conversations, effective communication tips and techniques, and these skills and techniques can help you transform your fear of public speaking into a skill set that opens doors for you in many, many places. In this episode, we have a special guest. That special guest is Jerome Maben, District Director of Toastmasters District 28. Welcome, Jerome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for agreeing to be on our podcast. This is absolutely a treat for us to get to interview the District Director of District 28, which happens to be Confident Communicators' home district. Jerome, I'd like to start today with a brief description on how you got into Toastmasters and your background overall. And if you don't mind, how long have you been in Toastmasters? And add to that, at some point, what clubs you currently are in. All of the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you today. And I'll just start with just a quick overview of how I got here. Back in 2012, I was doing some consulting work for a real estate agency, and the chief executive officer indicated to me that he thought that Toastmasters might be something that I would benefit from. So he posed a challenge to me, and that challenge was, if you go and visit the club, and at the time the club was Troy Community Toastmasters, I will consider paying your fees if you decide to join. Well, what an incentive for someone that's looking for something for self-improvement. And from that genesis, I've spent now over 13 years in Toastmasters as a result of that singular invitation. And it was an invitation that actually changed my life, changed my perspective on what it meant to be an effective communicator and how to best utilize those skills in order to impact the people that I'm speaking to in the audience. Currently, I'm a member of 3 clubs. The first one is my home club, which is the one that I joined back in 2012. That's Troy Community Toastmasters. I'm also a member of Optimistic Orators, which is a club for advanced speakers, and they're located in Royal Oak, Michigan. And I also belong to a club on another continent in North Africa, Tunis Toastmasters Club in Tunis, Tunisia. And I'm one of the founding members of that club. As a result of that relationship that I had with a person that was interested in starting a club on that continent, the first one of its kind, I became heavily involved in the activities of developing that club and also to help coach and mentor the people in effective ways of communicating. And as a result of that, I asked for a commitment from them relative to my interest in founding a club there. And that was, if you start a club in Tunis, Tunisia, my expectation is that over time, that relationship will grow. And as a result of that, there's now a second club called Pearl Toastmasters in North Africa. So now we have 2 clubs in that region. So since my joining Toastmasters Club, I've always been about the business of growing the club so that it could reach more people. And that club is in District 107, which is that region of the world. And I have to say that the involvement in Toastmasters has helped me, 1, to best organize my thoughts, 2, to effectively use the tools that are necessary to communicate with people, and 3, making an impact to all of those people that I've come in contact with. And that is the journey that I've been on, starting out as a member and ultimately starting into leadership, and from the club advanced to the district, serving as a area director, division director, serving as the program quality director, club growth director, and now district director. So that is a detailed summary of my journey and how Toastmasters has impacted me and how I've impacted the organization of Toastmasters International, particularly in District 28.
Well, you've had quite an interesting career as a Toastmaster, that's clear. And being a sponsor, founding member of the Tunis Club, clearly you're no stranger to being in an international district at all, since District 28 is an international district, which is one of my favorite aspects of District 28, aside from the amazing people that are in it. So you are the district director for District 28, an international district, much like District 107 is. What is your role as district director? What do you see as your specific things that you have to do?
Thank you. My primary role is that of serving as the chief executive of the entire district, which is made up of the lower part of Ohio, around Toledo, southeast Michigan, and southwest Ontario. And my responsibilities are is to manage the affairs of the district. What are the most important aspects of the district? It is making sure that clubs are delivering a quality experience to its members, making sure that the people that lead the clubs are properly educated, and then finally, to make sure that the club continues to grow and the district continues to grow, because the real impact of a growing club is a growing and thriving district. So those are my primary roles and responsibilities. And finally, you can't have a district without having a district that's fiscally responsible. So my responsibility also includes
That's so
managing
true.
the financial affairs of the district.
Well, that's a lot of responsibility, and it's clearly one of the reasons why people who join Toastmasters and pursue any of the leadership roles get a great opportunity to develop leadership skills. Because you've got a lot of things that you're responsible for, which means you've also got a fairly excellent team, some of whom we've actually interviewed already, and it's obviously working. It's a great, great way to learn how to be a leader. So I just will comment on the size of District 28. As you already mentioned, part of Windsor, part of Ontario, part of Northern Ohio, and all of Southeast Michigan. And that's quite a large space that we occupy, and there's quite a few clubs, 60 or 70. But we're also becoming District 216 in a short time here. So with the size of just District 28, I got to believe that that poses some challenges for you, such as district events, such as contests, training, and just trying to stay in contact with the clubs that are nearby. So can you talk a little bit about the challenges that you face as a district director in District 28?
Thank you. The biggest challenge is geography. Because of the size of the district, right now we're at 68 clubs in District 28. We're about 1,200 paid members in the district. So it tells you, just based on that information, how broad the reach has to be for a executive that's responsible for managing the affairs of the district. I say all the time that no one person is an island. They have to have others to support them in order to manage the affairs that they manage. And for that reason, I have a great team of people consisting of area directors who are responsible for direct contact with the clubs and supporting of the clubs, the 68 clubs in the district. I also have division directors who are responsible for helping to manage. And then I have the club growth director responsible for marketing, the program quality director, which is responsible for education. And then you have the area directors, 16 of them, that are responsible for the 68 clubs and the management of those clubs. And on average, they're responsible for between 4 and 5 clubs in our district. And then, of course, you have the 4 division directors who are responsible for 3 or 4 of the area directors, and in some cases, up to 5 area directors. So it goes without saying that the support of those folks, in addition to the executive team, which is made up of the trio, it helps me to make sure that I keep direct contact with the areas, with the divisions, and therefore direct contact with the clubs through those affiliates. So you might say that I don't try to manage all of the affairs of the district. I rely on the rest of the members of the executive team to support me in reaching out and staying connected with the clubs in the various areas. So that's how it's done. I'm here to serve, not to be served. I'm here to motivate and promote the best ideals of the clubs so that the clubs are experiencing a quality club experience, and they're providing a quality experience to those people that not only are members, but those people that might be interested in joining at some point in time in the future.
That is awesome. It is quite a challenge to have that many people essentially as part of your team. And it's great to see that, that the effort is the focus is to serve and push whatever help people below you need, or people that are part of your team, is my personal way to say it. So that's servant leadership in a nutshell. I make sure I have the people, give the people what they need, support them, etc. And it sounds like that's exactly where you are living. I just point out for our listeners that in fact our district is 138 miles from Washington, Michigan to the club in Findlay, Ohio. So there's quite a geography, as you already mentioned. It's quite a challenge.
And it's going to get to be a greater challenge when we merge with the other districts to become District 216. What is your perspective on the new district, Jerome?
Thank you very much for the question, Carol. Here's what I believe, and I believe that my thought process is in perfect alignment with the international organization. Since 2020, we have experienced a decline in numbers in our district for whatever the reason. Some of it had to do with COVID, the coronavirus, that affected us in a major way and caused us to have to go from always meeting in person to looking for alternatives. And we became a hybrid club. As a result of that, we learned some new skills and techniques that we had never experienced before, and that helped us to be sustainable, and it helped us to continue to be supportive of the mission of the district. And that mission is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And as a result of us learning some new skills, we were able to manage that. The decline in numbers is not just a District 28 concern, it's actually a global concern. We're in 148 countries, over 14,000 clubs, and over 270,000 members around the globe. And in all of those areas, and there's about 13 different regions that we are made up of. And we've seen the numbers decline. So a few years ago, we had a roundtable discussion about what can we do to strengthen the clubs and strengthen the districts around the globe. And we thought that the best way to do that, because we were experiencing a decline, is to, in fact, start to consolidate some of our clubs around the globe so that we could have greater impact and serve the clubs in a better way. And that initiative created a thought process that we, by consolidation, could provide a better service to our clubs as well as to our members. So I believe that it's a opportunity for us to continue to thrive and grow.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, we've been an organization for 100 years now. And in all of our 100 years, we've had some challenges. We've had increases in membership. We have decline in membership. And I think what consolidation and realignment of districts is going to help us be sustainable and be in a position to provide better support and provide a better quality experience going forward into the future.
With us consolidating or merging into this larger district 216, would you recommend members pursue being part of the district leadership?
Absolutely. And I believe that growth starts in the very beginning. When you first get into the organization, you start to develop a skill set that allows you to be more effective, not only as a communicator, but as a leader. Ralph Smedley in 1924 came up with the idea that effective communicators make better leaders. And what better way to develop your leadership skills than to start to grow and have a club experience or have a district experience even beyond the club level. So anyone that wants to make a difference in the lives of other people, the best way you can do that is moving outside of your comfort zone, getting outside of the club, taking on district leadership where you can have a more significant impact and develop your skill set as well as your network. So I encourage all people that become members of Toastmasters to, at some point in time, if you get maximum benefit out of the experience, pay it forward to someone else who might also receive a benefit. And the best way to do that is to take on leadership roles outside of the club.
That makes a lot of sense. Rick?
Well, I think that I really like the idea of pay it forward. That to me is one of the tenets that Toastmasters has to maintain. I think that's part of the reason why Carol and I have continued to be in Toastmasters. We got a lot of benefit from getting the opportunity to practice different skills and learn speaking skills that helped us even while we were working. We're retired now. But more importantly now, we really look forward to having new members join and helping them learn new skills. Even within the district leadership, we're constantly urging people to take on district roles. We've both taken on various district roles at one point or another, and probably will again in the future. But for now, we're paying it forward by just mentoring others. So there's a lot to be gained because you get people like Carol, like Jerome, like hundreds of people that I could mention who have excellent speaking skills. You join Toastmasters, you get the opportunity to practice them, you get the opportunity to get mentors like the group that's assembled here. So I think it's a really valuable opportunity for anybody. Jerome, I am fascinated by so many things that you've shared today, not the least of which is the concept that your first Toastmasters dues were paid by your essentially your boss or mentor. That is a tremendous story. But I want to ask you just a generalized question because you've already offered up so much information. Are there any other additional thoughts or remarks you'd like to share about Toastmasters? As I am certain, just as Carol and I have a wealth of experience, you do as well. Any other remarks you would like to make?
Thank you very much for the question. This is one thing that I think is worth sharing that I haven't mentioned before. But as you were framing the question for me, I thought of it. The most important aspect of Toastmasters International in developing leaders and growing stronger communicators is we're also creating an environment where if you want to become a professional speaker, as an example, for hire, for pay, this is one way you can get it. We have what's called a accredited speakers designation that you can earn as a member. And those designations come as a result of people making speeches and receiving payment for them. And one of the requirements is that if you make 15 speeches for payment, then you qualify to become an accredited speaker, which is an international award that's awarded at the international convention every year. So I've seen people grow and develop in such a way that they become speakers for hire and make a wonderful living doing it. The other thing that I will share with you is, and this is more at the local level, what I've seen, people that have come into Toastmasters that said they were petrified to stand up in front of a group of people and speak. I've seen numbers that reflect the impact that we've had. And here's one that I can share with you from the local level. I saw an individual who started out at a baseline position in a company. As a result of developing their communication skills, they became an effective leader, and it meant two things. One, a job promotion and a pay increase. Those are the tangible things that we can speak to that really have a significant impact on our members. So I always say Toastmasters is the greatest thing that ever happened to me because of those two examples, because I'm seeing people that come into it with a fear of public speaking and leave with greater self-confidence that means a promotion at work and an increase in wages. And I don't think you can measure it any better than saying what it does for people on a personal and a professional level.
Wow, I cannot say enough about everything you just said. I completely agree. It's such an opportunity. It is a great organization, lots of dedicated people trying to help anybody who wants to improve their skills, which speaking is fundamental to everything. So this is an absolutely awesome 20 minutes or so that we've spent here talking. But unfortunately, we are drawing to the end of our podcast time here. So I'm going to close by saying a huge thank you, Jerome, for being here. I know as district director and everything else you're doing in your personal life that this was, I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. And I think this has been a valuable session, so thank you again. I'm going to close this out with two remarks. One, a huge thank you to On TV for allowing us to use their marvelous podcasting studio and the support that they provide for us to produce these particular episodes. I will also compliment Confident Communicators because they support Carol and I and help us become better at communicating. And this whole podcasting experience for us is part of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to close out our session today, play some closing out music, and wrap it up. Again, thank you for being here, Jerome.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity.